Welcome to the Influence Equation, the space where we uncover how extraordinary voices shape culture, create change, and leave a legacy. I'm Katie Mohammed, and this episode is one that reaches deep into the heart of what influence truly means. Today we explore service, not as charity, but as leadership, and not as duty, but as purpose. My guest is a man whose work has become a lifeline across continents, from war zones to disaster relief, from famine to floods. He has answered every call with humanity and conviction. Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, the founder of Gift of the Givers, has shown the world that compassion can be organized and that faith can be a strategy for change. He reminds us that when we choose service over self, we become part of something eternal. Dr. Sooliman, welcome.
Thank you, Katie. Thanks for the invite. And greetings to all your viewers.
So, Doc, as a founder of Gift of the Givers, it's one of the South Africa's most respected humanitarians of our times. Your work transcends borders, politics, faith. I mean, we had this conversation just now. But people remind us that you are of service, and this is what service looks like. You don't have to remind us. You know, especially in a world where we've seen what is happening. There's been ego, there's been division, but you teach us how to lead with compassion, with purpose, and conviction. I know you've told the story a million times. You tell us about the spiritual calling when all of this started.
First, Katie, we need to make it clear that Gift of the Givers is not my organization. I say that because I didn't get up one morning and initiate the idea to form an organization. It never happened like that. It's true. It's a calling. There's a back end to that, but to cut it short, the details are too extensive. I met a spiritual teacher in Turkey, in Istanbul, in 1991. I was told about him by an Afrikaner man that met him in New York in the 80s. And I moved to Durban, from Durban to Pietermaritzburg in 86 to start private practice. He came from New York to Pretoria, his home, to come and start teaching French at the University of Natal in Pietermaritzburg. He needed a butcher and a doctor. Now, it sounds everybody needs that.
But you won't both. You also went both.
No, you do have butchers and you have doctors in Maritzburg. You have plenty of those.
Of course.
But not many of them are neighbors. So that's the spiritual element to the story. He meets the butcher, who meets a person who just moved into his building that same week. That's me. I moved from Durban to his building. I said, look, this guy's a doctor. I don't know him. He just walked into my building. And then Miller tells me, after a course of me treating him over several months, about his story that he was in America, and he went to St. John the Divine, and he followed a man, he was lost in the streets of New York, very down, dejected, and he saw this man looking at him. He doesn't know who the man is. His heart tells him to follow the man. He follows the man to St. John the Divine. It's a huge church in New York. He realizes the man is a Muslim, a Turk, a Sufi. There's a long story behind that. In our discussion, he tells me, you need to go to Turkey. That this same man he followed passed on in 1985. There's a new teacher that he has met. And every time I speak, and every time that teacher speaks, it sounds like we say the same thing. So he said, you need to meet him. So I said, Mela, it's 86. I haven't even been to Cape Town yet. When am I going to get to Turkey? And he said something very profound. He said, what God wills happens. There's a time and a place. The whole theme of this is spirituality, okay? In 91 it happened. My wife and I landed up in Turkey. It's a long story. We'd arranged a ship of 8 to go to Bangladesh, during the Bangladesh cyclone, not as Gift of the Givers. There was no Gift of the Givers then. And the ship had to go up the Suez Canal, and he had to stop in Turkey for aid for Iraq Kurds in the north, which we had arranged, and so we arranged trucks to go to the north. And in that trip, we met the spiritual teacher. And it was an eye-opener, because coming from an apartheid South Africa, but the racism and the different polarization between communities. But even worse was the Gulf War. The Gulf War separated civilizations. Samuel Huntington spoke of a clash of civilizations. And the perception was Christians, Hindus, and Jews on one side, Muslims on the other side, East on one side, West on the other side. And of course, coming from an apartheid past, didn't help. Miller, when he went to the church in New York, he saw people of different dimensions and cultures. Jews, Christians of different denominations, Muslims, Hindus, and people just looking for searching, just ordinary people. My wife and I saw exactly the same thing in Turkey. We saw Jews in large numbers from America. We saw Christians of different denominations. We saw Hindus, and we saw just very lots of ordinary people just searching. I fell in love with what I saw. I fell in love with the teacher. When I saw all mixed people, I got confused after the Gulf War. And he saw the confusion on my face without me asking him. He asked me, "What do you see?" I said, "I'm confused. I see people from different cultures and different nationalities here in the Muslim Holy Place. And we fought wars with them all over the world. What are they doing here?" He said, "My son, you see right. Mankind is one single nation. The God of all mankind is one. We just call him by different names." And this was the beginning of how Gift of the Giver started. It had to be influence of mind changing, thought changing. What's the name? Embrace everyone, which wasn't there before.
And I love how you say searching, because we all are searching.
Sure.
But there's a level of consciousness when you're searching, because not everybody thinks they need to search.
That's true. So people, a lot of them come out of curiosity.
Yeah.
And curiosity leads to thought, and thought, then you search, and then you find what you want or you don't want, or find what you don't want. I don't know. Different people, depending on their personality, their character, their life's experience, everybody responds differently. I went inside there, and he opened my mind. And he said, any imam, priest, sheikh, pandit, rabbi who teaches violence, extremism, terrorism, discord, confrontation, or disorder is not a man of God. Don't follow him. Anyone who teaches love, kindness, compassion, and mercy is a man of God. Follow him. And he said, don't judge people. There is no saint. People have bad habits. It doesn't make them bad people. Yes, downright evil, that's something totally different. But ordinary people, with mistakes and shortcomings, he said, always promote the good in a human being, never the negative. It was mind-changing. And the main event came the following year. 6 August 92, Thursday night, 10 p.m., after a zikr. A zikr is a celebration or pronunciation of God's names in Arabic. So in other cultures, we'll say, God the one and only, kind, compassionate, merciful, eternal, absolute, cherisher, nourisher, sustainer. The zikr takes place, he stops, he makes eye contact with me, he looks heavenward. The theme is still totally spiritual and faith. Heavenwards in fluent Turkish. I don't speak a word of Turkish. I understood every single word he said in Turkish that night. My son, I'm not asking you, I'm instructing you to form an organization. The name in Arabic, he gave the name. It's power when a spiritual teacher gives you the name. Waqful Waqifin. Translated, not exact, it's very hard to translate. Gift of the Givers. You will serve all people of all races, all religions, all colors, all classes, all cultures, of any geographical location and of any political affiliation. But you will serve them unconditionally. You will expect nothing in return, not even a thank you. This is an instruction for you for the rest of your life.
Do you believe that was divine?
Obviously.
That was a divine intervention.
Yes, because
for your life.
He was looking at me and he was looking heavenwards at the same time.
Wow. That must have been so powerful. At that moment when you were sitting there, how did you feel?
The atmosphere was electric. You felt the presence of God Almighty there.
Yeah.
Normally after zikr, those who've been for it, you feel the presence of God Almighty over there. His presence is there in that kind of gathering. And you felt the power, you felt this, you're still, wondering how you're understanding the language. The crowds are around you from different nationalities and different religions. You are getting this instruction in front of hundreds of people. You're still trying to absorb because this was not something that was planned. It probably even came to him suddenly too. I don't think he sat and decided, okay, this afternoon, 10 o'clock or this evening, I'm going to sit and tell this guy this, that, and the other. I don't think he thought about it either. It was purely divine in every way that it happened because it was spontaneous.
So you often speak about miracles that sometimes science can't explain. This clearly is one of the miracles.
Well, it's yes, I don't really call it a miracle. It's understanding of something beyond science and, it's not necessarily a miracle. It's one aspect of human development people don't understand. We have a soul. How do you explain that? You see electricity, but you can't see the electrons to make it come.
Yeah.
You see the power of God, and you don't understand how that happens.
Yeah.
You see things are put out for you. It happened before. You think of something or somebody, and the person calls you. Those are not scientific things you can explain. There is a spiritual element, and you need to understand that clearly. And I got hundreds of stories like that things happen for me. But the important part of that is the most important part. You ask me, how come you remain humble?
Yeah.
So that's the story.
Yes.
Everything I've told you so far is showing human interaction, embracing human, not judging people, not being dogmatic, open your mind, be open to change, look at the spirituality, look at faith, accommodate people who don't believe in that system, have an open heart. Instruction comes, follow it, be disciplined. I mean, all those things came in one night. And yes, so he says, feed the hungry, clothe the naked, provide water to the thirsty. And in everything that you do, be the best at what you do. There is no ego, not because of ego, but because you're dealing with human life, human emotion, and human suffering. Now, as an NGO, people always think like NGOs are second grade. You know, they're just time wasters. They come to eat, take money from us, and they just waste our time. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
We have to set standards. And the most important point, the last message, my son, don't ever forget that whatever you do is done through you and not by you.
Oh, wow.
I'm a
Profound.
33 years a living witness that everybody celebrates me. What they call me legend,
You are.
icon,
You're a living
hero,
legend.
all that kind of stuff they call me. It's not true.
Yeah.
All this is done by God's grace. Everything's put up in front of me, and I see it happen. I'll give you one or two stories, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. That miracles happen for you. You don't do them. And at night when I'm praying, I tell him, thank you very much. You know everything, and you give me the credit, basically.
So, and we can just say, as we say in Arabic, Alhamdulillah,
Yes.
right? So people often see you compassionate and courageous, but I'm sure we have to understand that it does take an emotional toll on you, especially with the level of pain that you see around you.
No, that's a big problem. My wife and I just had that discussion again last night. She tells me you are not human. You're not a normal human being. You are different. Actually, she calls me an alien. She says you are totally disconnected. It's true. I practice without thinking about it. It just happened. In my life, everything happened. I just sat and think, okay, I got to plan this. I got to write this down. I got to behave like this. This is marketing. This is PR. This, that, the other. You need to know one more aspect before I answer this question. You see, after he gave me the instruction, I asked him, how come you speak Turkish? I understand. Everybody else speaks Turkish. I don't understand. He said, my son, when the hearts connect and the souls connect, the words become understandable.
Oh, wow.
I asked him, what exactly are you telling me to do? You know, I'm a doctor. I have 3 practices in a place called Pietermaritzburg in South Africa.
Yes.
I work Monday to Sunday, after hours, public holidays, long weekends. I do calls, I don't rest. What am I supposed to do? And like, when am I going to fit this in?
Yeah.
When am I going to do this?
Yes.
He looked me in the eye in the same way he looked me in the eye when he gave me the instruction.
Yeah.
He said, my son, you will know. So I said, I will know what? He said, you will know.
And you're pretty young as well at that
I was
time.
30 years old.
Yeah.
I walked out of that place. It came to me instantly, respond to the civil war in Bosnia.
Wow.
In the same
Yes,
month, not
yes,
like 10 months, in
yes.
the same month, I took in 32 containers of aid into a war zone all alone. 3 months later, I took in 8 containers of winter items in a war zone all alone. The following year, we designed the world's first containerized mobile hospital. This will be the best. We made the world's first containerized mobile hospital. Product of South African engineering and technology, took it from Africa to Europe to Bosnia. So the point was this: you will know. So in everything that has happened or is happening, I just know what to do, how not to do, what not to do. It just comes to me all the time. So the question you asked earlier, everything is put out in front of me.
Wow. So if you have to speak to your younger self, that young boy from Pietermaritzburg, before the call that you got, that calling that you got, what would you tell him about purpose, sacrifice, and peace?
Well, there was a lot of prejudice at that time. There were stereotypes because of the apartheid state. You didn't like white people, you didn't like Christian people, and you didn't like the NGK church. That was there.
Yeah.
We lost our home, we lost our property, we were not compensated adequately. So you had that kind of anger inside you. But anger only destroys you. You know, forgiveness purifies you and sets you free. So of course we were not that kind of people, never had it in our nature. So we let go. There was no purpose. The purpose was as small, to be a doctor, to serve people.
As typical all Indian
Yes,
families as well.
either
You're
a doctor, a
te-
lawyer, accountant, or a teacher,
yes.
right? Because that's all we really had.
Yes.
No other options. And be a doctor, help your people, help the poor people, make some money in the process, take care of your family. That's all. There was nothing more than that. Well, and I was living in a place called Potchefstroom. It's a small town. But I learned a lot from my father. My father and mother were separated when we were very young. My mother came back to Durban. They were both wonderful people, but totally different mentalities. They couldn't be compatible, right? So it was understandable. They were good people, but sometimes good people just can't match, in the kind of, it happens.
And it happens, yeah.
So she moved back to Durban. My father used to be in charge of tennis, he used to be in charge in soccer, he used to be involved in cricket, but I was more involved with him in the tennis, not so much in the cricket. And soccer he gave up because he had his ankle at a very young age. He always used to say, when the people come from outside, we must take them to our homes. There was a sense of community. All these are building blocks of gift to the givers. Whatever I'm explaining you is how I was brought up. The doctor was my doctor, who delivered me. He delivered me, he treated me. He was a GP with a great professional skill, but he was also a very religious man. In Ramadan, we have to read the Quran in the mosque for 30 nights. He knew it by memory. And he used to lead. So in the day he was a doctor, but in the night he was like the imam in Ramadan, and he led it. So he was a great example to follow. Good man, always smiling, does calls after hours, weekends, never sulky, never angry, and he was a very good GP. Eventually became a professor. He went back to study, became professor in pediatrics. He had skill. And you said this man could serve the community physically and spiritually. I said, I'm going to be like that guy.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you had that role model.
Yeah, so that role model was there to become a good doctor. I said the Quran part, that's not me. I can't memorize 30 parts. That's not going to be me, sorry. And although
But you have your direct link to heaven already.
Yeah, no, I don't know about that. I know, because I said, at some point, I'd rather understand the Quran in English rather than try to memorize it in Arabic. It's not very
Of course, because you want to read to understand it.
Yes.
A lot of us learned to read it just for the sake of reading it.
Yes.
So listening to you, I am reminded that purpose isn't an event. It's practice. It's service. It's, I think it's what you're doing is in the purest forms of what we all should do as humanity.
Well, I was talking about service. My father invited people to come to his home. There was no restaurant in those days. You go to the house, and every member of the club takes people home. It builds a sense of community, of togetherness, of sharing. Diverse people came from everywhere. The love was born, and they did things together. Coming from Potchefstroom, it's a small town. You can't invite the whole town for the wedding, but the whole town comes to help for the wedding.
Of course.
And nobody gets angry.
Yeah, and that's a culture thing.
100 people can come to the wedding, 400 people out, no issue.
Yeah.
Whether it's a religious ceremony, whether it's somebody passed away, whether somebody has a new baby.
But that's the beauty of community, right?
Yes, but that's all gone today.
Yeah.
It's lost.
Yes, it is.
Yeah. So that's the difference. So all those kind of things, sense of community, helping each other, being good to each other, sharing, being humble, on the court itself, no ego, no fighting, no dishonesty, playing the honest game. All those values are not there today. We don't teach it to our kids. Everybody wants to be at the top at any cost whatsoever.
Yeah.
You've lost a lot.
Yeah.
And of course, I learned that from him. And then I got to Durban. I moved to Durban. I was just listening to sports. My father always said, play sports. I never really played. Came to Durban. I said, everybody's crazy in this place. The first day I go to school, the guy said, you're going to run around the race course.
And you were...
So I said, you mean the horse is going to run around the race course? He says, no, you.
So you were never an athletic person?
No.
You
I was athletic at school. I was very good at athletics.
But you never aspired to be like a cricketer?
No. It's just by the way. Like after hours.
Yes.
Races,
Yeah.
You just play subs. We never really played soccer after hours. Never played cricket after hours. Played tennis, yes. Played some table tennis. Never did much. And the guy said around the race course, I said, these people are crazy in the city. And of course I ran and I did very well. And I used to live off the race course. And then I joined the kids used to play soccer in the street. Hey, those were great days. We don't get that today. Of course. And in the process, we started helping the kids who were battling at school, difficult homes. My mother started an employment bureau when she came around. She didn't have much money. And she said, the best thing you can give people is independence and dignity.
Yes.
So she started finding people jobs.
Yeah.
And she said, you go to people's homes, find the poor, and give them a food parcel. If you can only do one a month, do one a month. Be consistent. That is Islamic teaching.
Yes.
Don't do anything big.
Yeah.
Do something small, but be consistent. So being with the kids, being with my mother's example, my father's example, then I got involved in, when school and sports were together. Then I got into medical school. I got involved in Islamic Medical Association. I got involved in Muslim Studies Association. And then, from there, I got involved in a lot of things. Then
you just were busy.
I was busy.
I
used to give the lectures in the mosques.
Yeah.
And on a Friday, I used to give the lectures at Ramadan at night. As somebody what the Quran is all about, religious stuff. But of course, then I got involved in school governing body in a public school. And then eventually I was in charge of 120 schools.
Wow.
And I got involved in other kind of activities, all before Gift of the Givers. And then in 1990, I got involved with the Islamic Medical Association. We took stuff into Mozambique, Nakala, in a place called Nakala.
So you were already knowing your purpose?
It wasn't, I didn't know my purpose. I was just doing it.
You were just doing it, right, okay.
I didn't say, okay, today I got to think, I got to have a purpose, I got to do this, I got to go there, I got to do that. No, people needed help, all right, let me try it.
Okay.
I was very adventurous.
All right.
Okay, let's try this. Frelimo and Nama are fighting. So we'll go in between them. Okay, let's just go. Let's see what the hell happens. You get shot. You don't get shot. We
It's
don't
like
know.
keeping the peace.
Yeah, just go. What
Yeah,
happens, happens.
yeah.
You know, it's a fatalistic attitude. Let's
Yeah,
just go. Let's
yeah.
go. They did the first project. Did the Bangladesh. They did Iraq Gulf War.
Yes.
Did the Bangladesh cyclone. Met the teacher. And Gift of the Givers was born.
So you've built this a movement grounded in faith, and as I'm talking to you, it's a constant reminder about how strong your faith is.
Can I comment on that?
Yes.
My father said, "You give me up your practice." I said, "Yes." She said, "You studied for 7 years. You worked for 8 years in your
Yeah.
practice. You giving this up?"
Yeah.
He said, "Yes."
Wow.
I said, "Yes." I said, "How are you going to survive?" I said, "I don't know. It'll happen." When he was dying, he passed away in 2016, and years
Yeah.
before that. But in his last weeks in the hospital, he said, "You did the greatest decision in your life."
Wow.
And
It
he
was something so special as he was going, saying this to
And
you.
he said, "If I had half the faith that
Oh,
you
wow,
had,
wow.
you know what? I would do many more things."
Wow.
Yeah.
So you've once said, if you serve humanity, you serve God.
Yes.
How can each of us live that truth? I mean, not in the grand gestures, but just in daily acts.
God has made it so easy. He's made it so easy. You don't have to be part of Gift of the Givers to do that. There was no Gift of the Givers before, 30 years before that, you know. It's a simple thing. He makes you do the most simple thing. Be kind to your parents. Be good to yourself.
Be good to your neighbors.
Be good to your neighbors. Remove the stone from the road so doesn't somebody step on it. Remove a banana peel. It doesn't say it that way, but an obstacle. So a blind man doesn't slip on it. You know, help the old people. Give the cat water. Give the dog food. Whatever. It's not complicated. It's not difficult. You get slightly higher. Help your people with counseling. Give people good advice. Be honest and integrity. It doesn't say it specifically. Help. It doesn't qualify help. It just says help. You should know what that is. Help
Of
a
course.
school kid with maths. A school kid can help another school kid. Which kids did it right time. We sat together and we helped everyone. Everybody learned from everybody else. Teacher would come. There's no tuition. Money. Teacher does it for free. I'm coming to help you after hours. Come to my
Wow,
place
yeah.
to help you. I'll do this for you. But they didn't have 45 kids in the class at that time.
Yeah.
They didn't have kids with learning disorders. They didn't have the social breakdown that we have today.
Or
we have
kids,
to take it.
or kids sitting under a tree.
Yes, we have to take it in context.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of the big, and it emphasizes first, be good to your family. Today we want to steal the inheritance of
Yeah.
our brother and sister.
Yeah.
We want to, divert funds from them. We want to ignore them. We can't talking to them. It's totally messed up. And then what you're going to do to your neighbor? The prophet emphasized, peace be upon him, emphasized so much on neighbor. God, he said God emphasized so much on neighbor that eventually I thought that the neighbor is part of my inheritance. You're going to get inheritance from me too. That's how strong
Yeah,
the emphasis
yeah.
is. A neighbor doesn't only mean the guy next door, the next street, the next village, the next city, before the further place.
Yeah.
So it's emphasis, you can do good. And just being by honest, speaking out the truth. Simple things, making sure that the truth, the goodness, the honesty is always foremost. That is your service.
So, Doc, you see nations, you've seen over the years, nations rise, you've seen them fall, you've seen them try to build themselves again. As a South African, and I think we both are such proud, what do you believe that unites us as South Africans?
Our Ubuntu spirit. The spirit of
Our
Ubuntu.
spirit of Ubuntu, yeah.
That's because that's unique to us. Why do I say that? We intervene in 47 countries. And within 48 hours, they tell us the same thing in every country. You guys are different. So what do you mean? It's like a black guy, a white guy, a Xhosa guy, a Zulu guy, a Hindu guy, a Muslim guy, Afrikaner guy, an English guy.
But we are one.
In every country, they tell us, you're different. So I said, because like our different race, they said, no, not that. I said, our professional skill, they said, not that. So I said, what? I said, your attitude. People come here from all the parts of the world, best technology, best equipment, but they talk down to us.
Yes.
We're psychologically and emotionally already destroyed. We've lost everything. Our children, our wives, our family, our homes, our schools, our hospitals, our clinics, our water, our electricity, our roads, our businesses. We don't even know what the future holds, and they talk down to us. You come, and they don't even want to touch us. We feel like leprosy. You guys come, you pick up our children, you wipe their nose, you hug them, you hug us, you kiss them, you talk to us gently, you talk to us softly, you give us respect, you give us dignity, you put the food parcel in our hand, Even you guys didn't bring anything, just your
Presence
attitude
and your attitude. Yeah.
gives us so much of hope for the future. Now the critical point. You see, this country will never fall apart. I believe in faith. Faith tells you that God is with those who are oppressed, who are bleeding, who are hungry, who are thirsty, who have been unjustly dealt with. He said, I'm with them. You want to find me? I'm there. Don't find me, look for me anywhere else. Look for me there. And I'm duty bound by my own law of justice to answer the prayer of those people that go through hardship, that I've allowed them to go through that hardship. I'm duty bound. So when they pray, beware the prayer of the oppressed.
Yep.
I will answer it. So when 40 people from 47 countries who are bleeding earth say, we can't give you anything in return. The only thing we can give you is what you can never buy. We give you prayer from the bottom of our heart that what happened to us and our people and our country will never happen to you, to your people, your teams, your family, your country, and all your citizens in your country. And this happens repeatedly over and over again. God, by his own law, is duty bound to answer that prayer.
Yeah.
65 million South Africans will always be fine.
Because everybody else is praying.
Everybody else is praying for us.
Yeah.
And that's why we're still a very religious, diverse religious community in the world compared to everybody else. We have peace. And a German guy told me, he said, you South African guys are crazy people. So I said,
But they love us.
no, he said, you guys fight about everything. But when it comes to common issues, I haven't seen such a diverse nation stand together in the interests of themselves and in the country. We will never fail.
And I love that. And I love how you said that because as I grew up as well, my dad would say, the most important thing is when you ask somebody for something, say, please pray for me and mean it. Because when that person prays for you, that their prayers get answered for you.
Yes.
So when you ask for something, don't say, I'm never somebody that asks for anything. Ask for prayer. And I think that's the most important thing. When we talk about leadership, many people equate leadership to power. But your leadership is noted in humility. How do you define leadership in today's complex world? And we've seen it. Sometimes I feel that we are living in an alternate reality at the moment with leadership.
Mine is very simple. I follow Quranic law. And it's a simple one line, serve the people. As God said, I've created you on earth to serve people. When you serve people, you are the door to God because you are the hope. Whenever we go to a disaster or people in need, they think God himself has come. Because when people are vulnerable, any aid that comes to them, they are totally dependent on you. I'll give you an example. In Komani, Queenstown, 2022, winter, my truck is going up the mountain into the rural area. Emphasis on race is deliberate. A black old lady comes out of the house, on crutches, looks at the truck. Everybody in South Africa knows our branding. They know it never comes empty. She looks at the truck. She looks heavenwards. She does this.
Wow.
You would never let me down. What was the significance of that? She prayed to him with no connectivity. I'm hungry. There's no food. There's no breadwinner. The grandchildren are hungry. I got nothing. Did she call me? No, she didn't. Did she call my staff? Did she call my team members? Did she send an email, a press release?
No.
Nothing. Nothing. I'm hungry. And this truck arrives in that area. I don't even know why. And she gets a food parcel. She thanks him. When we do that, we're the source of hope and a confirmation that God exists. Because nobody told me. I just went there.
Yeah.
What made me go there? 3 weeks ago in Mossel Bay, our mother was sobbing because during COVID, a lot of youth helped us in different areas. Came at us, they were not scared. They helped us. So when we go to the areas, they were from poor communities. And we did something for them when we go back to the area. So 3 to 4 weeks ago, my teams went and they remembered all the people who helped them. And they went to give a food parcel to those families. So when we went to this one mother's family, she came out and she started sobbing. She said, I'm crying for 2 reasons. Number one, I really need that food parcel. You know what?
Yes.
You came.
Yeah.
But I'm crying more because in the last 2 weeks I've been saying, God, send gift of givers to my door.
Oh, wow. And that was her prayer that was answered.
Yeah.
So when history writes about Dr. Imtiaz Sooliman, what do you hope that first line will say?
He served humanity unconditionally.
Unconditionally. Yeah. And you often speak about, like we've spoken about us being proudly South Africans, how that we have such enormous potential as South Africans. What needs to be done for us to rebuild some of the confidence that we've lost as a nation?
You know, we need to look at the source of hope again. Let's go back. In the 1970s, when the Middle East War took place, there was a fuel ration, remember?
Yes.
5 liters per person, per car.
Yeah.
We overcame that. Then came, of course, the fragments of apartheid. 1994 is the greatest miracle in the history of our country. Nobody really appreciates that. It's a long story, but this country didn't burn. And people don't understand the value of that miracle. It was the fate of the masses, not the leadership that mapped out a plan. No, that was not the miracle. The miracle, it's not the miracle that a black government replaced a white government. That was not the miracle. The miracle was the patience, the resilience, the care, and the compassion of the masses who went through all the difficulty and said, we can do it now. They didn't burn or kill anybody. That's the greatest miracle of all time, which nobody understands yet. I understand it because I go to areas of conflict and civil disorder and, civil war. I've seen that. I know that. The next miracle was the financial collapse, 2007, 2008. South African banks and our economic system survived when many people in the world battled. The interest rate went to 24%. We came out of that. Then came COVID. We lost 2 million jobs. We lost 100,000 lives. We lost 750 doctors in 9 months in 2020. We lost 750 doctors in 9 weeks in 2021. That's a hell of thousands of hours of experience gone. We survived that.
So your message for us is hope.
Yes,
have hope.
We can. We came out of the cyclone Idai that hit in 2019. It affected Durban. In 2020 came COVID. In 21 came the civil unrest. We lost 50 billion. Came the floods in April 22. We lost 100 billion. In spite of all that, then came ESCOM and destroyed everything.
Of course.
There's load shedding, but we still lights are still on. There's road development entry. The buildings, the inner cities are being revamped. Everything's getting fixed up. What all the Diyar Makar with the politicians, the country is still running. You know what?
Yeah.
But it's one important point to remember. To make this thing work, there is no them in us. No government, provincial government, trade unions, corporates, religious sectors, sports sector, universities, schools, traditional leaders, tribal leaders. There is no separation. We are one.
It's an ecosystem.
No labels, no ego, no branding, no titles. You are South African. When you get hit, COVID didn't decide. I'm going to hit the government guys only. No, I'll date the bad guys. Let me go for them. Or the rich corporate guys, let me go for them. Date the bad guys. No, it hit everybody equally. The only way to solve the problem is when we all stood together. There was no other way of doing this. And South Africans got to understand, and the government's got to understand, the country does not belong to the government. It's not their country.
It belongs to the people.
It belongs to 65 million people, so you got to share in the country. So stop complaining. Start fixing what you can. Don't say I pay tax and VAT and super tax and fuel levy and this levy. Yes, you do pay that. But 7.4 million people's taxes can't look after 65 million people, no matter who controls this country. It will never happen. We need to do this together.
And Doc, in a time where everybody's chasing recognition, you've shown that true influence comes from service. How do you get to this new generation that lives online so much? How do you get them to believe what real impact looks like now?
Well, I don't want to talk about myself, but the small kids come to take pictures with me.
Yes.
They tell me you're my role model. In how many schools they are banned?
But that must be a beautiful thing.
Yes, but it's so, you're asking the question. So it means kids are looking for values.
Yes.
From the age of 4, from the age of 7, that never happened in my time. We were not that oriented. Kids from small, I said, please, can I take a picture? The father will come, can take a picture. My son did what do you call this? Some project on you, kind of stuff. And then they take the project and then they take a picture and they take it to school the next day. And a lot of kids and parents have told me the school has banned projects on me and Mandela. Because they're tired of having so many or two of us.
Well, because there are other role models as well. So and I think we need to get kids
expand. So do you two are banned, can't do a project on you guys. But you find the kids, whether I go in the rural areas, whether I go in a petrol station, everybody wants a picture. They don't want a picture because I'm famous. They want a picture because they appreciate the spiritual value. Everybody wants to hug you. Everybody wants to hold you. Everybody wants to put their arm around you, not because of romance. They want to feel, they tell you this feel spiritual energy around you.
It's an energy,
They tell you straight, the spiritual energy.
It's that spiritual energy.
They say they feel it, they feel a difference. They say when I walk into the room, there's some kind of light comes in. I don't know, I'm just an ordinary person. But that's what you see, that's what they tell you. And university students call you. Professional bodies call you. Legal guys call you. Government calls you. Corporates call you. Churches call you. Mosques call you. Synagogues call you. Everybody calls you to speak and share what you have.
Yeah. I think I want to correct you that you're not an ordinary person. You're an extraordinary person. You've played your part, being a person of service. And I think when I look at you, and I also am, when you made the call to say, can we do this interview today? For me, I was not only humble. I realized that there is a there's a divine intervention for me as well. I look at people like you. We want to do as much as we want for our communities. When I work on social impact stuff, but what I love about people like you is that you are never not available to anybody. You're never saying, I can't do it. It's like, I can't do it now, but I will do it in the future.
Everybody tells me that. Even the way we met.
Yeah.
And you and I didn't know we were going to the same function.
Yes, we didn't know. And
Yeah.
then I just kind of said, caught you there in the corner, you were meant to be speaking. But you never said no. You said, please remember. And what I love about that meeting as well is you followed up and you sent me a message to say, please remember to send me the context of the email, because I would just think that you're saying hello to me.
Yes.
How do you get to that point of consciousness where everybody matters? Everybody matters.
The Prophet, peace be upon him, was sitting and talking to the tribal leaders. And a blind man came. The Prophet didn't make a mistake. He never made a mistake. Mm-hmm. He was trying to say, I'll talk to you later. And God sent a verse to say that everybody matters. Mm-hmm. And you don't know what comes from who, what kind of blessing, who could help you when. Once ordinary person here may be the next head of state, next religious leader, we don't know. We don't do it for that purpose. Mm-hmm. We do it because you show dignity to every human being. On what basis do you check person? You're rich, you're clever, you're smart, you're good looking. Is that the basis of our judgment? Or you look at a human being as a human being, non-judgmentally. You don't know who's a bad guy, who's a good guy. You don't know how the bad guy will become the good guy. And the teacher said, bad people may have bad habits. Doesn't make them bad people. There's no saint. Everybody's got faults and flaws. Encourage the good in the people. The good will just go up and the bad will go down. Encouragement, positivity is what life is all about. So in the same way, you know what? I can't say, because gift of givers don't celebrate, we don't have anniversary functions. In 33 years, we've never had a dinner or a party or an engagement to have an anniversary. Who am I going to invite? Rich people. People give me money. What about the old lady gets up 2 o'clock in the morning to preach for me that I don't even know? Who's more important, her or the guy gives me 2 million rand? I don't know. So am I to judge? So as a policy, there is no celebration. On our anniversary, we multiply the amount of projects that we do. That's our celebration.
And the influence that you have, I remember a couple of years ago, I think it might have been about 7 years ago, we filmed with you for Brown South Africa many years ago. And one of the things we asked you is, how do you get corporates to contribute? And you said you don't know.
We don't ask.
You don't ask.
Because the teacher
how do you get to that level of influence when corporates just send things? Because you were telling us about your factory,
warehouse.
Your warehouse, that things just pitch up.
Yeah, you see, the teacher gives. That's also, I have an advantage. I have a spiritual teacher who's given me a lot of spiritual gifts. One of the things he told me is, you will never look for money. People will come looking for you. And I'm thinking, what the hell is he talking about? I mean, and he told me very clearly in the beginning, a lot of things that I tell you now, you will not understand now. You will understand many years later. 33 years later, I'm still understanding what he told me in the 90s, to be honest, because it's coming true.
Yeah.
And he said, you will never look for money. As a policy, we don't have fundraisers. We don't ask for money.
Yeah.
But of course, to be fair, the media gives us a lot of coverage. Media travels with me. We go to the areas. Somebody's working in Eastern Transkei. Phone says, uncle or his brother in the top company, he's in the CSI division. Gift of the givers came, they gave a food parcel to me and the neighbor next door. The CSI guy calls us. I see you help my family. Our budget is coming to you.
Oh, wow. So it does.
Good,
I mean, it's...
Good gives return good.
Yeah.
In 2020, was it around that time? The big, no, 2019, or no, or just after that, the big fire in UCT.
Oh, yes.
You're right?
Yeah.
All the alumni, everybody got involved. All Mutual gave us the hall. It's all covered during 2020. It was during COVID time, you had to be the mask and everything.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to help. The stuff started pouring in. I made an announcement in the hall. I told my team members, make an announcement in the Old Mutual Hall. All the media are there. All the big companies are there. Tell them we don't want any more money and we don't want any more goods. Announce it clearly and loudly. Say it publicly. We don't want any more. What do you think happened?
They just sent.
Everybody in that warehouse send me super links of stuff the next day. After I announced, I don't want
Don't
this
want
stuff.
anything.
So I said, what's wrong with you people?
Yeah.
They said, we already made up our mind. It's for you.
You have to
Take it and
support
put it wherever you want.
And when I look at someone like you, and you are bigger than life, I often wonder, how do you rest? How do you sit in your, I mean, I know you're a man of faith, you pray. How do you sit there in the corner and have some kind of peace and contentment?
My work is my contentment. People say you need a holiday. I say holiday is destructive. I hate holidays.
You hate holidays, you hate having a lot of cars. I know that you've said this before as well.
I love my work is my peace because
So your peace and contentment, in Arabic it's ridha. You have your peace and contentment.
sakina.
You have it now.
Yeah, I have it all the time.
You have it all the time.
I sleep 3 hours a night, and I'm totally refreshed with 3 hours of sleep a night.
So when people say things like fill your cup before you help others, it doesn't work. That doesn't work for you.
No, you're supposed. The teacher did tell me,
Yeah.
which this law I didn't follow. This is the only thing I didn't follow, which I couldn't. It wasn't practical. He said 1/3 of your time for yourself, 1/3 for the work, and 1/3 for the family. So I went back and I told him, this formula doesn't work. I said 4/3 go away from my work. There's nothing for the family and there's nothing for me. I'm not responsible. I don't create the disasters. I only get called upon to respond to them. So you can't be responsible. It's not my fault.
Yeah.
I've messed up my family.
So you've messed up that equation.
Yes.
So now that we talk about an equation, this is one of the reasons that you are here, is behind every one of our stories, there's always a formula, there's a combination of what makes us unique. And someone like you, Doc, you don't only capture your actions, it's the spiritual, and when I'm listening to it, it's that human philosophy that's meant to drive us all. So when I look at your framework, it's your voice, your story, and impact. And then we talk about integrity. You have intention. And you inspire the world. So I've done your equation, and I want you to read this equation and tell me if I've come close to what you believe you are for the world.
So it says influence equation, faith, integrity, and immorality. Not immorality.
It's morality. Immorality. Faith in morality.
Plus service, which is intentional and has compassion, equals humanity. Yes, correct. Inspiration and impact. It is faith, and faith plus service equals humanity. There's one more point I want to make it very clear to people. They ask me, why do you keep going on? I said, for one simple reason, besides all the other things I've told you, gratitude. The fact that my daughter or my child is not on the other side.
Yeah.
I stopped leading the teams. I don't lead the teams anymore because it's succession planning. I'm not going to live forever. And I don't want this thing to fall apart when I drop dead. So 95% of succession planning is already done.
So you have your whole family in
Not the whole family, but my wife is the head of the counseling division. I've got 2 wives. The second wife is a theatre nurse. She runs the medical part. My son is a computer engineer. He left a top job to come and join me. Logistics, accounts, engineer. They got fixed brains.
So they're already living your legacy. They're living your legacy.
They've traveled with me to disasters. Yeah. My one daughter is a dietitian. She's come to Somalia in the famine. The other daughter is, my son came with me to Syria, set up all the technology for the, dishes for the communication. And he worked on my teams, and he came to other places. We came with me to Darfur. My third child hasn't really joined me, but she runs her own gym where she can do rehab and other kind of stuff. And she said someday she'll join me. Her husband works for me. My daughter's husband is a physiotherapist. He wants to come with me sometime. My son's wife is a dentist. He met her on a mission.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's South African, but he met her in Syria, and she's also came on a mission. My fourth child is a doctor. Her husband became a pediatrician, and now he's studying specialist pulmonology as a pediatrician. Both of them are waiting for the next mission to come with me. My fifth child from the first marriage is a psychologist. Is doing psychology. She's got honors. She's following the mother's footsteps. She wants to join at the right time. She's already working with the mother in the office. Yeah. The only child from the second wife, which is absolute monster, right? She tells me straight, she's my boss. She controls everything.
Well, good for her.
Yeah, and people, and everybody fights. They said she doesn't need a gene test. She doesn't need to do any type of blood test.
That's your baby.
If she opens her mouth,
Yeah.
this is you. Straight. No filter.
Yeah.
She's going to be a cardiothoracic surgeon.
Wow.
She's going to fix children's hearts.
And she's going to change the world.
That's what she says.
Because she has somebody like you. So we've broken down and we agree that your life and your leadership is anchored in deep spiritual conviction.
It's driven by that. There is no other reason.
Right. As you say, when you serve humanity, you serve God. So faith for you is your moral compass that sustains
I live by it. It's 24/7. I don't impose it on anybody else. I give you my point of view.
But you share.
You've got a choice of take it or not take it.
Yes, you share it, and I love that about you. You remind me of my dad. I must say you. So when we talk about service, which is intentional, where others see a tragedy, you look at the opportunity to serve. Is that what you see?
Well, they say don't waste a disaster.
Yeah.
But it's not a suffering the disaster.
Yeah.
I don't wait for the disaster only. We also have rehabilitation projects.
Yeah.
We have upgrades. We have got 21 different types of projects. We take care of. We do bee rehabilitation. We catch invasive fish from the sea, from the lakes, and give it to people. We've got feeding centers. We give wheelchair distribution. We upgrade hospitals. We do catch-up surgery. We do a lot of different things. We do counseling services. We build homes. We do drill boreholes. We support agriculture. All those we create jobs. We help people find themselves in a non-disaster situation. So to help people, the greatest dignity you can give people is for them to empower themselves, and they take responsibility for their own action, where they can look after the wife or the husband or the children or the family. There's no greater gift than that.
I think your intention on that is so pure when you talk about dignity, especially when there's despair. I just see that service for you is not a project. I look at it as a lifelong discipline.
That's why I say I can't go on holiday. This is my peace. I'll go out of my peace if I go on holiday. A service is what I love.
What my mom would say, if we do good in this world, then peace would be when you close your eyes and you are 6 foot under. That's your peace, right?
No, but to be honest, I get my peace in my work. I have total contentment. The Arabic word I told you is sakina, where tranquility descends on you. You feel it in the project. Ask my teams. They tell you, and there are a lot of mixed people there that don't have any religion, and they tell you we find God when we're on the projects. They tell you there's faith. It's different, it's calm, it's rewarding, and they say, we don't give anything. When we go out, we receive. That's their words. We receive, and we want to come back over and over again, because that's soul fulfillment, that's spirituality, money can't buy.
Yeah, and that's about humanity. It's about inspiration, because you inspire all these other people, and it's the impact that you're creating. So every act of service, every mission, every life saved builds something greater than relief. It builds belief in humanity itself.
Absolutely.
Doc, your story inspires me, and I'm sure so many other people, that real influence is measured in lives. It's measured through lives, through lives that you're restoring, through nations that you're restoring. And it's not about the headlines that you've created. The headlines come because of the good that we do. And we look at all the negative stuff, and at the radio station at 919, we want to only talk about good news stories. And when you look at what you do, it's only good news stories. Any parting shots that you would like to share with us?
We have a country to build, and we have to do this together. Take the labels off, take the branding off, take the titles off. Don't say government is corrupt. There are corrupt people in government, because there's corrupt people in the corporate world also, in the religious world, in the NGO sector. When you generally put a brush and blanket everybody, you destroy the good that other people do. Everybody in government is not a bad guy. There are a lot of people wanting to do good, but you destroy them totally. You say the SAPs are bad people, they're corrupt. It's not true. 99% of them do a great job. How are you going to explain that Sergeant Boosie jumped into Henley Dam in April 2022 in the floods to take out not a live person, to take out a deceased child and a deceased adult, an old man, to give closure to their family? The current in the dam sucked her up. She drowned. The dog loved her, jumped in behind her. The dog also drowned. Sergeant Boosie's body came home. To her 2 kids expecting a body or a live person. But you tell the SAPs is corrupt. Are the kids going to live in the mind that my mother belonged to a corrupt institution? She gave her life for nothing. And that's what we're going to say, There are people, we demoralize them, we destroy the goodness of people if you put a blanket brush. Don't do that. Stop looking for negativity. Look for the good in the people. You're never going to get 100%. If you think you're going to get 100%, please go look at yourself in the mirror first. The moment you can say you're 100%, then go find other people, but faults. You're never going to find that. You probably find you've got too much faults in yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
When are you going to stop?
The day I die, or I can't function. I told God, the moment I'm not, and this is my prayer, I've already made it. I make it every single day. The day I can't serve, that day, goodbye. I want to go. I don't want to serve anymore. I don't want to stay here. There's no such thing as retirement age.
There's no.
Yeah.
I was going to say, because we're all looking for retirement,
No,
right?
that'll kill me.
We're like, what can we do to retire? And
I
you
will
know,
die same afternoon.
so when I look at when I look at wanting to do good, it's a lot of us are saying, okay, well, we still have to live, we still have to do. How do you get to have these conversations with people like me to say, I also believe that anything transformational should be transactional.
But
Because I still have to function, I also have to get my life to. How would you say when I say anything transformational should be transactional?
well, you talk about purpose. Purpose is not only gift to the givers or religious or charity work. Purpose is what makes you happy. I always tell my kids, don't follow me. Do what makes you happy. But what makes you happy, be totally committed to that. Have a passion for what you want.
Yes,
I have
and
a
to make a
passion-
difference.
Make a difference.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be charity work.
Yeah.
You can be a damn good lawyer and be honest. You can be a damn good accountant and help people get out of the difficulty.
But you can also change the world.
Yes, and you can be a teacher and give people. Teachers are the most important.
Yeah, because that's of service.
Because
as well.
they made all of us.
Yeah.
Right, with
Yeah.
all ideas and ethics and values. I said, the day I say I have to retire from what I'm doing, am I saying that this work is exhausting? I'm moving away from what I love. It makes no sense to me. I don't want to retire. Because my peace, it's not a normal job. This is not a job for me. This is my life. This is what I love. This is what I live. I can't do this. If I move away from this, I'm doing something that's alien to me. I don't need a holiday from this.
Has anybody said anything negative about you?
Yes, I'm what's the name? I stole money. I got properties. I got properties in Australia. I got money in the Swiss banks.
And how does that make you feel?
I smile. I laugh. What?
Because it's their truth and your truth.
Yes, because the teacher said,
Yes.
if somebody says something negative, listen to it.
Yeah.
If it's false, it'll die. Ignore it. If it's true, fix it. So even that is a blessing. If somebody says something negative, you're too arrogant,
course.
you're egoistic.
And then you're not doing something right if they say only good things about you.
No,
as
no.
well, right?
And I told my staff, please don't tell me what I want to hear. Tell me what I don't want to hear, so I can fix the stuff.
Are you a tough leader?
I'm a monster. I'm an absolute monster. I'm ruthless.
Right.
I may put it no other way. I'm two different people at the same time. I'm totally abrasive, cold, outspoken. I'll tell you to bits. Make no doubt about it.
And so
Don't cross me.
So people do cry, walk away and just cry.
People are intimidated by me,
Yeah.
outside and inside. They're terrified of me. Let's be honest. Because I can be very brutal. I don't do it for myself. I do it because people I need in distress.
And also you are utilizing other people's goods and money. And
It's their money.
so
I keep saying-
governance is also a big driver of it.
You can't get the Reserve Bank give you permission to send money out of the country, more permission than any other ministry in South Africa got. You can't have SARS wanting to donate to you. You can't have the big, auditing companies want to be your partner or giving stuff to you. You can't have Parliament and other companies coming to give money. You can't have international agencies and government want to deal with you if there's something good about you. Our things are completely transparent. Check it out. In 33 years, I won't find mistake. You won't find me living in an expensive house. You won't find me having expensive cars. I actually got no car. My car's finished the day I gave up medicine. I got no car. I drive an organization car. I got no other car of my own. It's check me how I live. I can't travel anywhere because I don't have the money. It's not promoting now this I gave it sacrifice. Nobody put a gun to my head. The teacher said it and agreed. I had a fantastic practice. When the practice hit the top, that's the day I closed it.
And I'm sure that teacher has passed on, as he said.
Yeah, 1999.
So
My father and him died on the same day. Not on the same day, but on the same date.
Wow.
21st February.
Wow, that's profound.
1999 and 2016.
Same day.
I was actually prayed for God to take my father away. He was battling. I prayed for my mother to go.
Yes.
And after I prayed, 15 minutes later, she was gone. And I said, thank you.
Wow.
I don't want to see her suffering. And neither does she want to see herself suffering. And then eventually that week of the 21st February, which was Sunday, 2016, I told my family, my father's going to die on Sunday. They said, nobody can know the day of death. I said, he's going to die on Sunday. Sunday morning.
You had that feeling.
He was gone.
So if you have to ever have that moment with that imam, that Turkish gentleman, what would you tell him now, 33 years later?
He gave me the greatest gift in my life. Thank you very much. You can say it again, I'll do it again and again and again, but we've got to solve the one-third formula.
Which is that, well,
What
you're
the
going to
one-third
defy the
formula-
fact is that you did not deliver the one-third formula.
I said we have to find another way around this because that part I really messed up.
Well, I've given you an equation now. I've given you another equation. Imtiaz, it has been an absolute pleasure. You are one, and I'm sure you get this all the time, but you know me. You have been one of my role models, and I aspire to do as much good for humanity, be of service, because I also know from a faith perspective, when you're of service to other people, your creator is happy, and I think we all want to, or believe we want to make our creator happy. But thank you so much for offering us this opportunity to be here.
Pleasure, and thanks for the invite.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
So each equation reveals not just what they do, but who they are, how people move, how people build nations and ignite transformation. So as you listen to each voice, remember, you too have an equation. You too have the power to define what your influence means. I've been Katie Mohammed, and this has been the Influence Equation.